welcome. You're watching Focus On with me, Zanele Morrison. Running a global network of more than 70 offices consisting of an estimated 80,000 clients and approximately 10 billion under management is no small feat. Financial services company deVere Group, who is no stranger to the complexities of operating in different business environments, has offered specialist global financial solutions for over 22 years. Joining me to share some of the insights on running this multinational financial service corporation is the deVere Group CEO, Nigel Green. Nigel, thank you so much for giving us this time. I want to go back to the very beginning. What inspired you to begin this business?
I think it's always client demand, isn't it, that drives a business. And lots of people, as they are today, move into different locations and they needed international advice rather than local advice. And that's what we specialize in, being able to deal with people and show them how they can invest internationally rather than just locally.
It's so important to know the why, but then in actually unpacking how you went about doing this, you've pulled so much together: consultancy, savings, bonds, life insurance, pension, and so many other fintech options. In a bird's eye view of the company's success, what do you believe has been the driving service that extended the group's reach to this global customer?
I think that people need cross-border advice. So your starting point is that everybody needs to understand that they need money for the future. I think everybody realizes that at some point they're going to need money. So whether it's saving on a regular basis or investing a lump sum, it doesn't matter if you're somebody starting out or somebody that's already actually acquired a lot of money and accumulated, you need advice. So it doesn't matter if you're, let's say a new teacher that's moved to a new location internationally, or Elon Musk. Elon Musk needs advice too. So everybody needs it. And if they're working in another country, in particular, they need international advice. So when you think about it, it's complex because you come from a country, they may want to tax you. You live in a country, they may want to tax you. And where are you going to end up? So if you can actually offer good advice to international people, then obviously there's an opportunity to grow a company and an opportunity for clients to really secure investments and make sure they end up financially secure.
But nonetheless, you're running a very complex business in a very complex market. You've got to keep your eye on the future all the time. What are some of your thoughts or the ambitions that you have for where this business could be going next?
And I always kind of look at people like Elon Musk and go, well, hang on, if they can, then maybe I can. I think there's many people that inspire all of us, and we look at the world differently. Many people are comfortable in their current businesses. For me, I don't know, I think that it's what can you achieve? What can you do for people? There's a massive world out there. And I must confess, when I was younger, I believed that arrogantly that perhaps the UK was the only place. And then I started to realize, wow, there's a big world out there and there's lots of people that need financial advice. So I think that was the starting point. And then if you look at it and say, okay, well, how do you run a big company? Well, you need good people around you. And you're only as good as the team, and you're good as the people that you can actually recruit and develop. So the key to any business, and easy to say, difficult to do, is to develop good people around you, strong people, and those people work collectively. So then you can obviously build the company. It does depend, however, not on you. You'd like to think it depends on you, but the reality is it's actually about having a good team and good managers and good people around you that can develop the organization.
So let's jump on to another topic along the lines of technology. Let's talk about artificial intelligence aligned to what you're doing. You've recently voiced your support for AI when it is paired with cryptocurrency. How would AI, in your view, benefit the systemic use and enablement of cryptocurrencies for customers?
I think that most people agree at some point in the future, AI is just going to gradually develop and be more successful. Of course, we all know the dangers of it, so we're aware of those. You've got to make sure that what you're looking at, the information it's giving you, is correct. but nevertheless, it can enhance people's jobs. So it can enable you to be more effective, more efficient. So if we look at it and we look at companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, all of those companies are investing massively in AI. It's going to be successful. There's no question about it. It's a change in the world. It's a change in the market. So if we take that to the logical conclusion, we're again saying that there's more technology, there's more use of it. And of course, as people use that in their jobs and indeed in their daily lives, then you have to go, well, there's going to be digital currencies. Governments can save money by having digital currencies. So how can you enhance that? Well, we live in a world where sometimes countries want to be perhaps segregated. And there's a little bit of nationalism going on in the world where countries do want segregation. There's a lot of people that realize it's actually a global economy. So if we go digital currencies, you can have a digital dollar, but not everybody wants the dollar. You can have a digital euro. Not everybody wants that. So if you can develop, or if there has been developed something like Bitcoin, and it doesn't have to be that, but that's the obvious part of the solution, then it goes with technology. And of course, the advantage is that it's seamless. In other words, you can use it globally. And it could be other digital currencies in the future that are developed with good technology. And if they have, as Bitcoin does, a ledger, so you can actually see the data and regulators can see exactly what's happened, then it has some massive advantages. Of course, change happens slowly, or sometimes we think it's fast, but reality is that financial change tends to be embraced slowly.
And to speak of the regulatory aspect, South Africa regulator did hand you a 2.5 million penalty and a 5-year debarment. You've been on quite a journey with them. They did drop it. What did that teach you or leave with you? How do you go about, I think, in future making sure that you're ahead of these type of challenges with South Africa or any other regulator?
I think it's a challenge, globally to keep ahead and to understand. Sometimes for regulators, so they look at it, they don't always understand what we do. So I think in this particular case, they looked at it and perhaps they made a decision early on that maybe in the light of day they realised was a wrong decision, and they dropped what they had notified of us of in the first place. I think cross-border advice is complex. I mean, it's super important. Imagine, you can have a South African, could be anywhere in the world, and they need advice. They may be in the UAE, as example. They need advice. They need to be able to have the information that's right for the UAE, but also where are they going to end up? They're born in South Africa, so that particularly gives them some tax but perhaps potential issues. Where are they going to end up? Are they going back to South Africa? Cross-border advice is complex. And often when we're talking to a client, we're not going to keep one regulator happy. Sometimes we've got to keep 3 regulators happy. So in other words, it is complex. It's complicated for the regulator as well as us, but also vital. If you're living in another country, how do you get good advice so you know that what you're doing is right from the investment point of view, but also from a regulatory point of view, and also from a tax point of view. So it is complex, but nevertheless, it's vital in my opinion.
And how complex is, I think, the core of what we need to do for the rest of humanity? You're dealing with complex issues for people who are needing to travel, but you did write an article on the importance of the G20 countries addressing financial inclusion. If there's one thing for you, that you could pull out that you think is just critical, why we need to keep an eye on and ensure financial inclusion?
I think it's crazy. If I'm honest, I'll be passionate on this one. I think there's 1.7 billion people around the world that can't access basic financial services. So we're talking banking. A lot of those ladies. So you'll see that in particular countries, there's a situation where certain types of people can't actually access financial services. I mean, it's difficult in life as it is for everybody. Everybody's got their challenges. And really, if you can't access just basic financial services, it makes it difficult. So I think, you've got the 20 biggest countries getting together. What can they do to really make it so that you can actually include people? I mean, you could go right back to education. How do you make sure people are educated so they understand the need to create money for the future? How can you make sure that banks, if we want to aim at those in particular, do include? You've seen it where even in the UK, you've had particular parts of the population have been excluded. Okay, that's got to be wrong. So when you're in financial services, it's not just about trying to make a profit, fairly obviously. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you're a business, so you want to be around in 20, 30 years. So you've got to obviously, you know, make sure you've got a good sustainable business. But a good sustainable business in my industry means that you've got happy clients, you've got clients and you're doing good for them. So social inclusion is vital for me. I mean, financial services can help massively if people are included and can access good financial advice. It really helps people. And I think everybody knows at some point they're going to stop working, either because they've got to or because they want to. They need advice on how to actually put money aside so they can actually be in a good situation. So when you look at that advice, I say there's at least a three-legged stool. In other words, your client's got to be happy. You've obviously got to have a good advisor that's there and maintain it. Regulator is got to be happy. And also there's a financial institution, so potentially a four-legged stool. And if you've got something where the client's super happy, the regulator's happy, and the advisor's doing a good job, then, okay, with a good product, okay, you've got an opportunity for people to accumulate money. So sometimes it can be a small amount, but put aside, but that can make a massive difference to them at some stage in the future.
And in these tough times, I really take comfort in the passion and the truth behind the importance of not only financial inclusion, but financial planning, you know, into the future. Nigel, thank you so much. Great discussion. I hope we have another one to unpack and loop back possibly to the role of tech in financial inclusion. But for today, that's all we can do. And that's how we end off today's discussion. That was the deVere CEO, Group CEO, Nigel Green. From me, Zanele Morrison, it's goodbye. Thank you so much for staying with us.